Okay, we're live. We did it again. Thank you guys so much for being here. And you are going to be hearing from me a lot over the next several weeks because I get to introduce some amazing people that I get to network with and work with, and I get to share them with you. So you're going to just kind of see us coming on whenever it happens. I'm not going to schedule them. We're just going to jump on here and we're just going to do our thing. So I wanted to introduce you to Cicely Simpson and just kind of talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about at the summit. As many of you know, we've just created this amazing Dream, Believe, Create Summit. I've got 15 amazing speakers from all over the world. And tonight I get to introduce you to Cicely. So hi.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So tell us what you do. Tell us what you're going to share with us and kind of give us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, sure. So basically, my world lives at the intersection of business and politics. So part of my role with my own firm called Summit Public Affairs, I promise I didn't copy your name, the Summit. I great minds think alike, right?
Absolutely.
But so, when I say I live at the intersection of business and politics, so that is my background over the past 20 plus years. I have lobbied for corporations. I've lobbied for large and small businesses. I've worked in Congress and in various parts of government. And now I find myself helping my clients, both those on the company side who want representation in Washington, but also those who are looking for more of a leadership coaching for their, perhaps their day-to-day job in business. So I do coaching. I have online courses, but then I also represent clients who want representation here in Washington. So it's a fascinating intersection, especially to be in right now, given all that's happening in the world.
Yeah, in fact, when we first met, I think it was January 6th, actually. We had one of our first conversations, and then that whole kind of craziness went down. How was that for you? Because I know you know a lot of people there. I mean, I know you've worked with the president. I know you were working with Trump and Biden and all these people. And so, like, how was that being in Washington? And, because we saw it from, afar. What was that like?
Yeah, it's funny. I think you and I literally had just hung up the phone and, everything the craziness breaks loose. I will tell you, it was crazy. I mean, obviously I don't work on the Hill anymore, even though I'm up there every day working with members of Congress. But my old boss, the congressman I worked for from Tennessee, is still in office. So texting him, is he okay? Is he safe? Is his staff safe? Texting friends who were in the Capitol, are they safe? Are they okay? And some of the responses were yes, finally, and you wonder what the yes finally meant. And some were yes, I'm safe for now. And so both of those were very equivocal answers. And so, it was sort of it was just, it was nerve wracking. And I was beside myself because, not only do you fear for your friends and your former boss, but, quite frankly, that place just holds a very near and dear spot for all of us who work there. So I will tell you, it was quite frankly, it was beyond words to watch that unfold. And to talk to people who were there. I mean, the ripple effects are profound.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty wild stuff. And
yeah, you and I had very fortuitous timing.
We did. It literally was like, hey, it's kind of crazy timing right now. That was our conversation. I remember it was like, this is crazy timing. How's it going? You go, yeah, it's always crazy around here. And then you were in my thoughts all day that day. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was just wild. So so you've been doing a lot of this work, and so tell me and tell us, and just kind of tell everybody about what's the big dream that you're working on? Like, what are the big projects that really fire you up, that really get you out of bed every day, and really, the thing that you really want to share the most?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking. I mean, my passion is helping my clients. My basic, success, story that I have to share with folks is I can help you achieve the influence and success and relevance that you're looking for, in whatever facet that may be, both your personal journey, but also, as a company. And, I love that, Kevin. I'll be honest with you. It's funny. I've been lobbying for years, but I did some public speaking last year before the pandemic started. I was giving a speech in Nashville, close to my hometown, and I was sort of talking about chair leadership and if you don't get an invite to the table, bring a folding chair, and really the philosophy which sort of sums up my entire career, right, and the roles I've held and how no one invited me to the table, but I certainly made a spot for myself. And someone came up to me afterwards and said, can we talk about that quote? Can we talk about, like, that just resonated with me. And then, believe it or not, even throughout the next couple of months, I had several groups reach out to me, people reach out to me and say, like, I really want to talk about how I can increase my influence. And I'm really drawn to this quote that you keep using about, getting to the table of success and staying there. And so honestly, it's become, my passion's always been, coaching, mentoring. I think I'm mentoring 10 students right now, in addition to the coaching and online. And I am having an absolute blast at it. So what gets me up in the morning, quite frankly, is I get to work with great people. I get to work with great people and help them reach the goals that they want to accomplish. And they define those. Obviously, I don't. But how we get there is where the sweet spot is with the strategies that I can, help provide. So I am absolutely having a blast.
That's so cool. So when you work with your students, like, what is the outcomes that you're really helping them to achieve specifically?
Yeah, so it depends on sort of where they are in the student journey. I have a couple who are graduating from undergrad. They're looking for jobs. How do they get started? What career advice, what strategies can I give them to begin their career? There are those who may be in law school. A couple have gone to my alma mater, Pepperdine Law, and they reach out and say, okay, I want to do what you do. I didn't know that was a thing that you could do with a law degree, but I want to be in public policy. How do I do that? Right. So what's the path? You have a lot of connections. Can you help me with those connections? So it takes on, many different forms, but ironically, a couple of them heard me speak on racial justice this summer. Pepperdine had a racial justice seminar, quite frankly, where we just talked about our experiences with race in school, race in the workplace. And so a couple of them found me on LinkedIn, believe it or not, afterwards and said, I need your help. So, it ranges depending on where they are in their education journey and where they want to be in their professional journey. If they want to be in DC, they usually find me somehow.
Awesome. That's so cool. That's so fun. I love that.
It is a blast. I mean, I'm like reliving, law school finals last semester because I'm talking to these students and they've gotten their grades back, or, or even one young lady I talked to yesterday on LinkedIn, and she was like, I'm looking for a job. I'm a 1L. I'm like, you and I don't know each other, but I can help you find a job if you're a 1L. But it's so much fun to be able to, to engage with them. And quite frankly, I tell people, I'm like, look, I'm invested in your success. So if you're a student, like 10 years from now, you're never going to get rid of me. Like, I'm still going to be cheering, for your success, even after you graduate. Right. So it's such a fun group to work with.
That's great. So is your background, you are a lawyer by background?
I am. Don't hold it against me.
Yeah, no, I just
right?
didn't. I didn't know.
A lawyer and a lobbyist. Like I've got them both nailed.
You do, man. Yeah, watch out, man. I wouldn't want to be on your bad side.
Listen, I tell people, when you see my phone number 202, it's either me or the IRS. Take your pick.
I love that. That's so cool. That's fun. Yeah. So
I started out criminal law. Wanted to be a prosecutor, get the bad guys.
Yep. Great. And now you're really working towards change. We're helping small businesses, and that's kind of how we came together. We both, champion for businesses, and, maybe a little bit different in our approaches and stuff, but it's the same thing, that we really care about people. We really want to see people succeed. My coaching services are all around, that personal side of development and making sure that we're getting into our purpose, our passion, that we're excited about what we do. And I know you touch on that as well, because you can't help it. But yeah, I love it. I love what you're doing. I love that you're a champion for entrepreneurs and career professionals. And so talk to us a little bit about, at the summit, we're talking about this chair leadership, and just give us a little bit of a insight about what you're going to be sharing, what the big takeaway is for people. I mean, I don't want you to give it all away because I want them to show up, of course, but what can they look for in terms of how this will help them in their business or their career and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, let me say thank you, because you have put together an amazing summit. I mean, you're just incredible. You and I, known each other for a few weeks, but I'm just in awe of the amazing group you pulled together from around the world. So this summit is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And I thank you for the opportunity to be part of such an amazing and phenomenal group. And I'm looking forward to talking, to those who join us for the summit, looking forward to talking about what chair leadership is. So I've taken that quote. It was by the first African-American Congresswoman ever elected to Congress. Her name was Shirley Chisholm. And I've taken that quote, if you're, if you don't get a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. And I've taken the word chair and break it into 5 actionable strategies. So CHAIR, to help people get to that table of influence, get the level of success they want. And quite frankly, it's, Kevin, you know this because you've been coaching longer than I, but it's people who, they may already be successful. They just want to know how to get to the next level, right? And then there's some who I've talked to recently who say, I just, I have a goal. I don't know how to get there. So regardless of where people, come to the summit from their personal journey, I think all of us, all 15 of us, have so much just passion for what we do and people that we help and the strategies and things that we teach that I'm just honestly thankful to be part of the group and be able to share those 5 strategies with people and see if we can help them. Like you said earlier, we meet people where they are. And so let's meet them where they are and help them get to, that next level. Not sure if you saw my Facebook post yesterday, but I posted a Tom Brady quote, which I think really sums it up. His playoff quote is, "I didn't come this far to only come this far."
That's right.
And it's like,
was it great? Was it kind of great? Like, whatever you think about Tom Brady and all that stuff, it's like,
I'm not a fan. I love the quote.
He just keeps winning. You know what I mean? It's just like, he just has a dream. He has a passion, and I just love it.
And you know what? Everybody who's like reacted to that on social media, or even people who were like, I thought you were a Titans fan. I'm like, I promise you, I still am. I'm like, but that quote, and I'm a big quote fan, if you can't tell, that quote sums up so much of what we do, people we want. I mean, it encapsulates and has a very powerful message that I just thought, wow, that it just blew me away when I read it.
Yeah, what really strikes me when you say that too, it's like, sometimes we start a new project or we start a new, direction in our career or whatever. And a lot of times it's like, it's so scary and it feels like insurmountable, right? And it's just like, we get knocked down a little bit and then we kind of go like, oh, that didn't work. And then we're standing back up. It's like, we got to just keep doing it. Like, it's like, there's no choice. It's like, we just got to keep going. And, even in my, bad days where I'm just like, man, entrepreneurship, even though it's wonderful. And even though, I continue to make money and all this stuff, it's like, we got to keep going, Yeah. And it's just never ending. And I just love that, because it really gives me that feeling of like, it's a marathon. It's not it's not a sprint. It's like, just take it easy, enjoy the ride, have fun, and just continue. So I don't know. That's just what came up for me.
No, I love it. Look, I was talking to a new client today, and I asked them to tell me, identify the mantra or the what gets you up or your passion, or, what is that quote or what is that thing, so that as you're going through every day, you're right, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So what is that thing that's going to keep you motivated and keep you going, on the good days and the bad days? So I think you're spot on about that. I mean, I love, I love helping people find their passion, and hopefully find their passion, it's a runway that they have in front of them, not that it's a one and done. It's like, no, we're going to set you on this path and ensure that you reach the goals that you want to accomplish. So I'm with you 100%.
Yeah. And, it's like, even in all the work that you've done with lobbying and just how big it is sometimes, right? It's like, I think that a lot of people, and this was kind of my idea with this summit, that dream, believe, create. It's like, it requires a big dream. It requires a big belief, and it's that consistent creation, even when it's impossible, right? If we look at our politics, they seem impossible sometimes, right? It's like, how in the world are we ever going to get there, right? But we just keep doing it. It's like, and it's just like, I'm so glad that people have that ambition to keep going, because I don't know, right? Like, if we didn't, I don't know where we would be as a culture, right?
Yeah, no, listen, you're right. I mean, it's one day at a time, one step at a time. But yeah, I mean, believe it or not, it's funny you should say that. There are people that I talk to, there are companies that I talk to, and they just think, can we make a difference? And you're like, you absolutely can. Like, it's, this is, to your point, it seems very big, but as someone said to me last week, if it's big and you don't know how to get there, that's a goal.
Yeah.
If you have something and you know what to do about it, that's a checklist, right? And his name, Chris Prouty, told me that, good friend. And I thought, yeah, if you don't know how to get there and it's a big, awesome dream, create, succeed kind of goal, that's a goal.
Yep. Yeah, it is. I look at Congress sometimes and I go like, I don't even know why these guys bother. Like, cause you're like, they just hate each other and they just never they never meet up. And it's like, but I'm glad they keep going. Right. And I think it's like, everything's like that. I think of the UFC, I think of sports, I think of,
Totally.
it's just like, there was this like UFC was going to like completely collapse at one point. And it's just like, they're the biggest sports, name out there now, and it's like, you remember that. You remember these people in Congress every day. You remember the people like you and me that come together every day. We piece it together, we group together, we network, we connect, and we just hope that we can really make a difference because it can be tough sometimes,
Yeah.
And I'm sure you hear that a lot with your clients.
The change is worth it, right?
Yep.
Fighting for the change is worth it. Yeah,
Yep.
no, absolutely. I mean, I had the privilege of, I ended up in DC by accident. It wasn't my goal, but I've had the privilege of the last, 20 plus years of, being, understanding the government and being a part of it. But also, bringing, you're right. I mean, it's the small businesses, it's the individuals, it's just people who, and I'll give you one example. When the pandemic happened last year, I told people, I was like, this sounds really weird. I was like, but I had so many people I'd worked with in the past call me. I need help. Like my business is going under. How do I get a PPP loan? What do I do? Can I just get on the phone with you? Can you just help me understand? And I got that from so many people. And there are people I haven't heard from probably in 10 or, years or more, but it was like, absolutely. I'm happy to get on the phone and talk to you. I'm happy to, help. At the same time, I'm hearing from, individuals like, I just need to get through this. I just need to go forward. I just need someone to help me, so it was sort of, when you talk about being in politics and change and, we all listen, you're right. You and I are working for the same thing, which is success, helping people achieve their dreams, dream big. That comes in many different forms these days.
Yep.
And over the past year or so, I think we all need something big to dream about and something big to look forward to. So yeah, the conversations I have on a daily basis are fascinating to say the least.
Yep. I love it. I love it so much. I'm so glad you're a part of this summit with us. You bring such a great energy and a lot of experience. And again, it doesn't really matter for this audience. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want to write a book, if you want to start a program, if you want to get into politics, you want to become a lawyer, the sky's the limit. The connections happen quickly. I mean, we didn't know each other 2 weeks ago. We found each other and, it's like, and now it's history. It's like, and it's just neat like that. It's like the more you just get out there and you work with people and you connect with people, just the sky's the limit. And I just love that.
Yeah, the power of relationships and connection. That's what it's all about. I mean, no matter, to your point, no matter what we do or how we describe it, all boils down to the power of connection and relationship for sure. And I'm grateful for yours. And I thank you for, this summit. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so excited. Inviting people. I'm just like totally pumped to be a part of it. You're amazing. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much. And you are too. And we're just going to continue on. We're going to kick some butt out here and just keep working. So what would you leave the audience today, kind of on a final closing about, preparing for the summit, or just any kind of words of wisdom for them to say?
Well, you have some big news before we go. You're starting your podcast this week.
I am finally like really getting into this. It's been
yes.
You
gotta tell everybody about that. Like that's awesome. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to listen.
I'm really excited. It's really it's been something. Even my friend Jackie and I, we kind of started this thing together, and it was really coming together of her and I, and it was kind of a mixture of things, but we kind of came together on it too. But really the heart of that whole core coaching podcast was me to come out and to inspire people, encourage people, motivate people, give them that opportunity to voice what's important to them, and really have that opportunity to do some live coaching with me because I love coaching. It's one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, it's been something I've been really wanting to do for a long time. Jackie and I started that kind of as a let us tell you what it's like behind the scenes of a business, because her and I really understand that. And a lot of the entrepreneurs that I work with, I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years. And, our whole thing was like, you can build a business, but we also have to look at it and say, let's look at it realistically so that we know that you are creative, you are perfect just the way you are, but we have to also be realistic, right? Like we have to understand that We're not going to make $1 million overnight. We're not going to, it's just doesn't really work like that.
But we wish it did.
Yeah, well, we wish it did. And so, yeah, it's just, but this is really, and I'm really turning that wheel to where I really want to go. And I really want to make this, I want people to have a voice. I love just this opportunity for them to come on here and speak their truth. And it's going to be really fun. So yeah, thank you. This was about you, but thanks for letting me plug that.
That's my parting comment. Listen to Kevin's podcast.
Yep.
Check it out. He's going to blow you away. And then join us for the summit, because we have 15 amazing people and we're going to have so much fun.
Yes.
And we're going to knock it out of the park and really, hopefully just really create a very powerful impact over those 5 days. So those are my parting words.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. And again, I'll go ahead and put the summit link if you haven't already. I know I've been blasting it all over the place. You're going to hear a lot from me over the next 2 weeks, because I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. It's a free opportunity for you to connect with my amazing network and people that I'm connecting with all over the world. And you're going to learn from them. We're going to share. We're going to inspire you. We're going to encourage you. So I'll drop the link one more time, and then I'll do it again, and I'll do it again. I'll do it again. So thank you guys for coming. Cecilia, thank you so much for being here. It's such a pleasure. And we will be in touch again.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
Okay. Bye, guys.